This video is about Zeus confronts gods until lightning fails. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the timeless realm of Olympus, where clouds kiss the peaks of ethereal mountains and golden palaces glimmered with the light of 1,000 stars, the air was thick with tension. The gods had gathered, their celestial forms shimmering like ethereal flames, each one radiating an aura of authority befitting their divine nature. At the center stood Zeus, the king of the gods, his eyes smoldering like molten gold. The weight of countless eons rested upon his shoulders, for he sensed a shift in the balance of power. Whispers of rebellion had reached his ears, a conspiracy brewing among the lesser gods and titans, eager for glory and dominion over the realms they once served. "Listen closely, my brethren," Zeus proclaimed, his voice resonating like thunder across the heavens. "The harmony of Olympus is threatened. The winds of dissent swirl among us, borne by cowardice and ambition. We must stand united." Athena, the wise goddess of wisdom and warfare, stepped forth, her brow knitted with concern. "True, brother, but to confront this darkness, we must seek its heart. Let us scout the mortal lands, there lies the genesis of their rebellion." A murmur rippled through the assembly. Hera, queen of the gods, stood beside Zeus, her regal presence never to be underestimated. But what if it is not merely mortals conspiring? What if it is a deeper treachery among the gods, hidden like shadows in the light? As if summoned by fate, the earth trembled, heralding the arrival of Ares, the god of war, clad in armor that gleamed like the blood-red dawn. "Let us unleash fury upon our foes, sister. Let them tremble before Olympus. Only through battle can we discern friend from foe." Zeus raised his hand, silencing the growing din. "Patience, Ares, a tempest of chaos shall grant us neither wisdom nor victory. We must investigate before we strike." Yet, unbeknownst to the divines, a shadow loomed larger than their fears. Deep within the darkened depths of Tartarus, the imprisoned titans stirred, their malevolent energies awakening like a slumbering beast. Cronus, the father of Zeus, had not forgotten his thirst for vengeance. Meanwhile, in a hidden glen beneath the canopy of ancient trees, a gathering of mortals conspired. These were not ordinary men, they were descendants of heroes, their hearts ignited by the tales of glory. Led by a young warrior named Lysander, they sought to take back the freedom taken from them by the gods. Are we mere pawns in their celestial games? Lysander shouted, his voice fierce with determination. "No longer will we kneel before their whims. Together, we shall rise and reclaim our fate." Unbeknownst to either the gods or these rebels, the fates had already woven their destinies into a tapestry fraught with tragedy. The Moirai, the three fates, spun and clutched their threads, each twist a harbinger of what was yet to come. Clotho, the spinner, smirked, for she saw a conflict soon to engulf Olympus. That eve, as the sun dipped below the horizon, draping the world in shades of crimson, Zeus summoned a meeting of the elder gods. The moon appeared, watching like a sentinel as the mighty gathered. "You all know what must be done," Zeus began, his voice a storm. "We confront the heart of this rebellion, but we do so with honor, not wrath. We shall test their resolve, reveal their true nature." Poseidon, his brother and god of the sea, nodded, his trident crackling with energy. "Let us approach them as patrons, reveal our strength not only in fury but in wisdom. We shall test their mettle first." Athena smiled, her mind racing with strategies. "A wise path, brother. We can challenge them to our contest, a trial of strength and cunning. Should they succeed, we may extend our hand, but should they falter, they will know our wrath." The assembly murmured in agreement. Thus, a divine decree was forged, a contest of champions, where each side would select a representative to battle for their cause. As the stars began to twinkle in the vast ocean of night, Zeus descended to the mortal realm, his form cloaked in storm clouds. He touched down upon the glen where the mortals gathered, his presence igniting both fear and awe. "Brave souls of the earth," he declared, his voice reverberating like thunder. "I challenge you to a trial that shall determine the fate of your kind. If you succeed, I shall grant you autonomy. Fail, and you shall bear the weight of my wrath." Lysander stepped forth, heart pounding like war drums. "And if we win, what proof do we have that you shall honor your word?" Zeus regarded him with a flicker of amusement. "You have the spirit of a hero, young warrior. Should you emerge victorious, my word shall be the sun that rises upon your freedom." With a nod, Lysander accepted the challenge, rallying his companions behind him. Thus the stakes were set, the tension palpable like an electric storm breaching the horizon. But as the celestial gods retreated back to Olympus, Cronus awakened fully in the abyss of Tartarus, his rage palpable. "Foolish children, they shall not reclaim what was taken. We will rise again and bring Olympus to its knees." His words echoed, summoning the Dark One's monsters and creatures long forgotten. Titans once bound by chains began to stir, and the ground trembled under their awakening fury. In the following days, the contest loomed near, yet the gods remained unaware of the imminent storm brewing beneath their feet. As night fell, warrior and god prepared for the ultimate test, each harboring within them the weight of destiny. On the day of reckoning, Olympus bathed in sunlight glimmered with anticipation. The divine council looked down upon the mortal arena, where heroes gathered to test their strength against the powers of Olympus. Lysander stood tall, flanked by his comrades, their hearts racing with anticipation. Opposite them, the gods descended like meteors, adorned in armor and splendor, their powers palpable in the air. Zeus stood at the forefront, his lightning crackling ominously. Let the contest begin, he bellowed, and the earth roared in response. The first challenge was to test strength. The warriors were to lift a massive stone imbued with the essence of the mountain itself. One by one, the heroes strained, muscles trembling under the weight. Lysander, summoning all his strength, felt a surge of energy coursing through him. As he lifted the stone high, he felt a connection to the very essence of his ancestors, the legends of old urging him forth. The crowd erupted in cheers. But then the winds changed. A cold chill swept through the arena, the once shining sun hidden behind darkened clouds. A rumble echoed across the land, the sky bore witness to the fury of the Titans. As Zeus watched, a sense of dread washed over him. Something is amiss, he muttered, sensing the darkness clawing at the fabric of their world. Before the contest could culminate, the ground quaked, and from the depths rose the monstrous remnants of Cronus' army, giants and beasts, forged from shadows and wrath. The gods leaped into action, but a powerful wave of energy surged through the air, knocking them aside. Zeus raised his hand, calling forth his lightning, ready to unleash the storm upon the earth. But as he did, a blinding flash erupted, followed by silence. The lightning flickered, then faltered. What sorcery is this? Ares shouted, bewildered. His weapon fell from his grasp, unable to strike. Zeus felt the surge of divine energy slip from his grasp, a sensation foreign to him. No, I am Zeus, I control the storm. His voice echoed with desperation as the shadowy forces began to overwhelm Olympus. The Titans, long shackled and yearning for retribution, surged forth in a tidal wave of chaos, the howls filling the air, drowning the cries of gods and mortals alike. Olympus was on the brink of annihilation. The arena erupted in chaos. Mortals and gods alike fought side by side, their destinies entwined. Lysander, battling a massive beast, felt the weight of the moment. The very essence of honor was at stake. Stand strong, he roared, rallying his comrades. As the dark tides of despair engulfed them all, the question hung in the air: would Zeus reclaim the lightning that once defined him? Or would the weight of history and betrayal bring forth a new dawn, one where the gods of Olympus would stand divided against the very darkness they sought to vanquish? In this realm woven of fate and fury, the lines between glory and tragedy blurred, and the storm was far from over. The battleground trembled with the promise of clash, betrayal, and a reckoning that would change the very fabric of existence. And so, the curtain rose on an epic saga, where destinies intertwined, and the fate of gods and mortals alike hung by a fragile thread. Asterisk to be continued asterisk. Amidst the thunderous turmoil, the skies darkened further, a harbinger of the chaos to come. The clash of titans and the cries of those caught in the maelstrom echoed through the ethereal air, causing even the bravest of hearts to falter beneath its weight. Zeus stood at the forefront, his essence flickering like a candle in a storm. The inability to summon his lightning gnawed at him, a feeling of vulnerability that he had never known. His eyes, which once shone with the fire of Olympus, dimmed as a monstrous form, a titan of immense proportions rose from the depths of darkness, its features twisted into a grotesque mockery of life. By the blood of titans, we return, cried the titan, a creature named Gorgoth, whose voice rumbled like an avalanche. This realm shall kneel before our might, we shall reclaim what was stolen. With a roar that split the heavens, Gorgoth lunged toward the gods, his massive fist swinging with the force of a mountain. Ares, ever the warrior, charged forward, brandishing his sword, its blade glinting ominously. Face me, wretched beast, I will carve your name from history. He leaped with ferocity, slushing through the air, his spirit igniting the hearts of those around him. But Gorgoth merely laughed, the sound a dark echo through the chaos. He swatted Ares aside like a mere insect, sending the god tumbling across the battlefield. Athena, watching the fall of her brother, felt her heart race. We cannot fight like this, Zeus, she urged. Without your lightning, we are nothing more than a gathering of stars in the vastness of night. In that moment of uncertainty, Lysander rallied the mortal warriors around him, his voice breaking through the din. Fight, fight for your freedom, for every soul who has suffered under the weight of divine indifference. His words ignited a fire within the hearts of his comrades. They surged forward, weapons raised, determination etched upon their faces. The clash of steel against flesh rang out, mortals and gods battling side by side. Lysander's sword, forged in the fires of his ancestors, gleamed as he struck against the enormous titan, landing blows that echoed with the weight of his lineage. The titan staggered but roared unfazed, and retaliated with a swipe of his arm that threatened to engulf Lysander whole. Yet, as the titan's shadow loomed over him, something stirred within Lysander, a surge of courage he did not know he possessed. "I will not yield," he shouted, ducking beneath the swing and rolling to the side. He thrust his blade upward, piercing the titan's heel, a strike that made Gorgath bellow in pain. Zeus, witnessing the heroism of the mortals, felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. "I must reclaim my power. I am the storm." He called upon the winds, willing them to bend to his will, but the shadows clung like a curse, draining his essence. "It cannot end like this. I am not merely a god, I am Olympus." In that moment, a glimmer of divine energy sparked from his fingertips, illuminating the gloom. "Here, Poseidon," he called, his voice breaking like waves upon the shore. "We must unite our strength. The essence of Olympus flows through our blood. Together, we can vanquish this darkness." Hera stepped forward, her aura brightening like a beacon. "We will not falter, my husband. Let us show them the might of the gods." Poseidon raised his trident, summoning the seas, calling forth waves that roared and surged against the titan. But as the divine forces converged, the ground trembled beneath the weight of titanic might. The darkness deepened, and with it came forth more creatures, horrific beasts birthed from nightmares, draconian figures, and serpent-like horrors began to swarm. With each step they took, the earth seemed to wither beneath their corruption. A roar erupted from the depths of the abyss as a colossal serpent emerged, its scales glistening like obsidian, eyes burning with a malevolence that froze the heart. "You shall all tremble," it hissed, coiling around the arena with the grace of a predator stalking its prey. Ares, regaining footing, charged at the serpent, his sword raised high. "Your reign of terror ends here," he roared, but before he could reach the beast, it lashed out, encircling him and lifting him off the ground, squeezing with a force that threatened to crush. "Ares!" Athena cried, rushing to the aid of her brother. Summoning arrows imbued with her wisdom, she fired them into the serpent's eyes, blinding it momentarily. It released Ares, who fell to the ground, gasping for breath. "We must use our might wisely," Athena shouted, a strategy forming in her mind. "Lysander, gather your men, we will strike together. Focus on the titan and the serpent." Lysander nodded, rallying his comrades. "Hold the line, we fight as one, for Olympus and for freedom." As the two forces united, the battlefield crackled with energy. Zeus, channeling the remnants of his strength, felt the divine bond grow. "Now, my siblings, channel your might into me." He raised his arms to the heavens, summoning the storm that had long eluded him. Thunder rumbled, a growl that shook the very heavens. The skies darkened further, and lightning began to flicker, illuminating the turmoil below. It was as though the very fabric of reality responded to the will of the gods. In that moment, Zeus felt the surge of power return, coursing through him like a river unleashed. With a triumphant roar, he released the lightning into the sky, and it crackled to life in a magnificent display. "With the strength of Olympus, I reclaim my thunder." He thrust his arms forward, directing the lightning toward Gorgath, striking the titan with divine fury. The impact was monumental. Gorgath roared in agony as electricity coursed through him, causing the very ground beneath him to shake. The titan stumbled, faltering before Lysander and the mortals who seized the chance to strike. Lysander and his comrades charged, striking with all their might. The titan fell to one knee, and with a fierce battle cry, Lysander plunged his sword deep into Gorgath's heart, feeling the pulse of victory surge through him. Yet the serpent was far from vanquished. It lunged at Zeus with unholy speed, its jaws gaping wide. But before it could strike, Hera, filled with the fury of a mother protecting her children, unleashed a blast of divine energy. It struck the serpent, causing it to recoil and hiss in rage. Together, she shouted, summoning the heavenly forces to her side. The gods began to channel their combined strength, forming a radiant sphere of light that enveloped the serpent. With a final push, Athena led an arrow of pure celestial energy, striking the serpent in its core. The beast writhed as it disintegrated into shadows, the darkness that once threatened to consume them now retreating into the light. The battlefield fell silent, remnants of chaos lingering in the air. The gods, still clinging to their divine forms, and the mortals, battered yet unbroken, stood together, gazing upon the ruins of their battle. Zeus, his eyes gleaming with both the weight of victory and the scars of experience, spoke with a voice that resonated with newfound wisdom. Today, we have witnessed the power of unity, of mortals willing to fight alongside gods. We are bound by destiny. A hush fell as Lysander stepped forward, his heart swelling with pride. We may be but mortals, but we will no longer live in the shadows of Olympus. Let us forge a new alliance, where gods and men stand as one, not as masters and pawns. Athena smiled, her gaze shifting from Lysander to the heavens. A new path lay open before them, one paved with honor and respect. Then let it be so. We shall build a future together, where both realms can thrive in harmony. The winds began to shift, carrying whispers of hope across the land. The gods and mortals had faced darkness together, and in doing so, had reshaped their fates. As the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden light upon the battlefield, Zeus felt a sense of renewed strength. The storm had passed, but it was only the beginning of a new era, testament to the resilience of both gods and men. And thus, as the legends would tell, the tale of the gods confronting their own mortality and the bravery of mortals would echo through time, a story woven into the very fabric of existence. Asterisk to be continued asterisk. In the wake of the titanic struggle, as the dust of battle settled upon the scarred earth, a tenuous silence enveloped both the gods and the mortal warriors. The remnants of darkness, once fierce and unstoppable, now lay scattered like fallen leaves in the autumn wind. Yet, amidst the victory, a shadow of unease lingered in Zeus's heart, a storm not of thunder, but of uncertainty. Is this peace, or merely the calm before the next tempest? He pondered aloud, the weight of divine responsibility pressing upon his shoulders. Athena, standing resolutely at his side, gazed across the battlefield, where the echoes of victory mingled with the whispers of loss. The scars of today shall shape the future of both realms, brother. We have forged a bond, but trust must be earned anew. Lysander, the mortal hero, stepped forward, his armor battered and his spirit weary yet unbroken. We have fought side by side, he declared, his voice steady like the ground beneath their feet. But let us not forget the ties that bind us. Beyond mere survival, we must build a legacy, a pact of kinship rather than servitude. Hera, her heart swelling with pride for both her husband and the young warrior, nodded in agreement. The bloodshed of today has shown us that mortals possess the will to rise as champions. We shall not repeat the mistakes of the past. We will stand together. As the sun cast its golden rays upon the battlefield, illuminating the faces of both gods and men, a realization dawned. They had challenged not only the titans but also their own natures. Yet, even as hope shimmered on the horizon, a tremor of dread rippled through the earth, a grim reminder that darkness could rise again. From the depths of Tartarus, Cronus watched with eyes aflame with fury, his prison of shadows unable to contain his wrath any longer. Fools, he bellowed, his voice echoing through the abyss. You think this is victory? You have merely scratched the surface of my revenge. I will unleash a storm the likes of which will drown Olympus in despair. Back in Olympus, Zeus felt the tremble of his father's wrath. We must prepare, he urged, his voice like the rumble of distant thunder. The Titans may be defeated for now, but their master stirs. We need to fortify our defenses and send envoys to gather allies from the mortal realms. Poseidon, brushing dust from his regal robes, crossed his arms. What allies can we gather? We are the gods. You would have them fight our battles for us. Lysander stepped forward, his heart pounding with the weight of destiny. We have faced the Titans and emerged united. Mortals will forge alliances if we show them we stand shoulder to shoulder with them. They will follow the gods who protect rather than those who dictate. A flicker of hope sparked within Zeus. Then so be it. We shall venture forth to the mortal kingdoms, and together we will rally a force strong enough to withstand whatever Cronus conjures. With a plan forged in the fires of adversity, the gods and their new allies hastily prepared. As they gathered their forces, the winds whispered tales of courage, echoing throughout the mortal realms, a call to arms that resonated in the hearts of all who had suffered under the weight of divine indifference. But unbeknownst to them, Cronus was already weaving his strategy, his cunning mind plotting a darkness that was far deeper than the shadows that clung to him. Let the winds of fate carry my vengeance, he muttered, summoning forth the remnants of his ancient power. Unbeknownst to the gods, he unleashed a plague of nightmares upon the world, creatures born from the darkest corners of despair. As the first tendrils of darkness reached the mortal kingdoms, panic ensued. Creatures of chaos, gargantuan beasts with scales hardened like iron, shadows that crawled across the ground like living nightmares emerged from the depths, wreaking havoc on the innocent. In the kingdom of Elysia, terror took form as the Hesperian beasts descended upon the unsuspecting populace. Claws as sharp as daggers tore through armor like parchment, and the skies darkened with the cries of the fallen. It was chaos unleashed. Lysander, now a beacon of hope for his people, rallied the warriors of Elysia. We fought alongside gods. We can stand against this darkness. Gather your swords, gather your will, for we are not forsaken. The emboldened mortals charged into battle, their hearts alight with the fire of defiance. But even as they clashed with the nightmares born of Cronus' wrath, they were met with overwhelming force. Each warrior fell, feeling the chill of despair wrap around them like a shroud. Back in Olympus, Zeus summoned his fellow gods. We must act now. The darkness spreads like wildfire. Athena, her mind racing, proposed a course of action. We shall divide our forces. While some will defend Elysia, others must scour the corners of the world, seeking allies and gathering strength. Zeus nodded resolutely, a fire reigniting within him. We will not cower. With the hearts of the mortals and the strength of the gods, together we shall cleanse the world of this scourge. And thus their plan unfurled like the wings of a phoenix, soaring into the very heart of chaos. Mortals and gods alike scattered into the ravaged lands, determined to push back against the dark tide. In Elysia, the battle raged on. Lysander fought valiantly, his sword slicing through the shadows, but the Hesperian beasts were relentless. They surged forward, an unyielding tide of terror. The air thickened with the stench of despair and death. As a beast lunged at him, Lysander ducked and rolled, striking upward with his blade and feeling the rush of victory as he severed a limb. But for every beast he fell, two more emerged from the depths, their roars drowning out the cries of his comrades. Just as the battle seemed lost, a blinding light illuminated the darkened skies. The gods had arrived to Zeus. Poseidon, Ares, and Athena descended like avenging angels, their divine might igniting hope in the hearts of the beleaguered. With a thunderous roar, Zeus unleashed his lightning, cleaving through the beasts in a magnificent display of power. For Olympus, for freedom, he bellowed, each bolt striking true and turning the tide of battle. Ares charged into the fray, his sword gleaming like a star. "Face me, wretched beasts," he shouted, his voice a clarion call. He fought with the ferocity of 1,000 storms, his every strike a testament to the resilience of the gods. Athena, her arrows imbued with celestial energy, rained down upon the beasts, each shot finding its mark with precision. "Hold strong, mortals," she cried. "Together, we will reclaim the light." With the combined force of gods and mortals, the tide began to turn. Lysander fought by their side, his spirit undeterred. "We are not alone. Together, we shall reclaim our world," he shouted, rallying his fellow warriors. The atmosphere crackled with energy, the battlefield echoing with sounds of battle, metal clashing against metal, roars of beasts mingling with cries of defiance. The darkness dimmed as the light of hope surged forward, illuminating the hearts of those who had once felt forsaken. But as they fought, the cunning mind of Cronus plotted further schemes. In the shadows, he unleashed his most powerful creation, a monstrous creature, a fusion of terror and despair. It emerged, a titan wreathed in darkness, its form shifting and swirling like smoke. "I am the embodiment of your fears," it roared, its voice a chilling echo that sent shivers through the bravest hearts. As the monstrosity charged, Zeus felt the weight of fate pressing down on him. "We must unite our strength and face this darkness together," he called. With newfound resolve, the gods and mortals combined their powers, creating a radiant sphere of light that sparked with divine energy. As they released it towards the Titan, a blinding explosion illuminated the battlefield, engulfing the darkness in its pure brilliance. The Titan roared in fury, struggling against the light, but it was no match for the combined might of gods and men. With a collective cry, they pushed forward, forcing the darkness to retreat, to dissolve into nothingness. As the light enveloped them all, a moment of stillness fell over the battlefield. In that moment of unity, a bond formed, a bond that would transcend the divide of god and mortal. When the dust settled, the warriors stood shoulder to shoulder with the gods, their eyes shining with shared triumph. Zeus, looking upon the brave souls who had fought alongside them, felt a swell of pride. "You have shown us the strength of your spirit," he proclaimed, his voice carrying across the battlefield. "We are forever intertwined by the trials we have faced together." Lysander stepped forward, his sword held high, the light of hope reflecting in his eyes. "Let us forge a new path, a realm where gods and mortals stand united against the shadows. Together, we shall create a legacy that will echo through time." And thus, from the ashes of battle, a new dawn. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow upon the battlefield, a palpable sense of camaraderie emerged from the remnants of chaos. The once ravaged land, now dotted with signs of both valor and sacrifice, throbbed with the heartbeat of renewed hope. Zeus, standing tall amidst the remnants of war, felt the weight of destiny heavy upon him. "Today, we have written a new chapter," he declared, his voice resonating like the rumble of distant thunder, commanding the attention of all gathered. Let it echo through the ages, a testament to the strength of unity between gods and mortals. Lysander, still weary yet exhilarated from the battle, stepped forward. His armor was stained with the mud and blood of conflict, but his spirit shone brighter than ever. We have faced the darkness and not flinched. We have stood shoulder to shoulder with the gods, defying the very essence of despair, he shouted, his heart swelling with pride. The warriors around him cheered, their voices rising in a chorus of defiance. Yet this is but the beginning, Athena interjected, her voice tinged with urgency. Cronus watches from the shadows, plotting his next move. We must not let our god down. Darkness desires nothing more than to reclaim its grip on our world. Even as hope surged, a chill swept through the air, a whisper of unease that sent shivers down the spines of both gods and men. Zeus looked to the horizon, where the ominous clouds still loomed, remnants of the storm that had threatened to consume them. We shall fortify our defenses, gather our strength, and seek allies among the realms, he vowed. We will not allow Cronus to ensnare us again. With that, the gods and the mortal warriors began to strategize under the waning light of day. They gathered in a clearing, their spirits high yet tethered by the sobering reality of what lay ahead. Poseidon, you know the seas better than any, Athena said, her eyes piercing through the gloom. We need to send envoys to the underwater kingdoms. If the tides shift in our favor, we may find allied among them African sea serpents. A glimmer of hope sparked in Poseidon's eyes. I shall summon my aquatic brethren. We will stand together against the encroaching shadows. The tides of fate have turned. As they spoke, Lysander found himself standing beside Hera, who watched the assembly with a maternal gaze. You fought bravely today, young warrior, she said, her voice warm yet firm. Your courage inspires not only your kin, but the very fabric of Olympus itself. Lysander bowed slightly, feeling the weight of her words. The gods have come to our aid, but we must show our worth. We can no longer be mere subjects of divine whims. We must forge a new destiny, one where mortals take their place beside the gods, not beneath them. Hera nodded, her expression resolute. Very well, let us strengthen our bonds. I shall ensure that the women of the realm are empowered alongside their men, for it is time we recognize the strength that lies within every heart, divine or mortal. As plans unfurled amidst the gathering twilight, an unexpected presence emerged from the shadows, a figure cloaked in darkness, moving with an unnatural grace. From the depths of the approaching shadows, a creature both magnificent and terrifying materialized, a harbinger of Cronus' wrath. I am Nyx, a knight, and I come bearing a message from the depths of Tartarus, she intoned with a voice that dripped like honey yet chilled the air. The gathering fell silent, eyes wide with fear and curiosity. Cronus sends forth a challenge, one that will determine the fate of both gods and mortals. Zeus stepped forward, his brow furrowed, defiance hardening his features. We shall not cower before the wretched calls of a defeated titan. Speak your challenge, and let us see if it is worthy of our time. With a flick of her wrist, Nyx conjured a vision of the underworld, a twisted landscape, dark and suffocating. Cronus demands a trial of strength and cunning. He shall face his champions, monsters forged in the darkest depths of despair, empowered by his ancient magic. If you succeed, he will cease his assaults. If you fail, his darkness will consume your lands. The tension in the air was palpable as the gods and mortals shared wary glances. We cannot trust his words, Athena cautioned, her voice firm. It is a trap, a web woven to ensnare us further. Yet Lysander, emboldened by their previous victory, stepped forward. We have already faced the darkness and won. If we do not rise to this challenge, we shall forever remain shackled by fear. I accept your challenge, Nyx. We shall show Cronus that we are not afraid. A murmur of approval spread through the crowd, igniting a flicker of hope. Zeus raised his hand, rallying them once more. Then it is decided. We shall face whatever horrors Cronus sends forth. Together, we will prove our strength and resolve. With the challenge set, the night wrapped around them like a cloak, and as the stars began to twinkle in the darkened sky, Nyx faded into the shadows, leaving an ominous silence in her wake. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The next day dawned with an eerie stillness, the air thick with anticipation and dread. The gods and mortals gathered in the sacred arena, a place where the echoes of ancient battles lingered. The ground trembled beneath their feet as Nyx reappeared, flanked by monstrous creatures of night, each one a twisted reflection of the fears they had faced and overcome. The first challenger stepped forth, a creature of shadow and steel, known as the Shade-Wrought Beast. It loomed tall, its eyes burning with malice, claws like daggers poised to strike. With a voice that rattled the very earth, it snarled, I am the harbinger of your fears, tremble before my might. Zeus stepped to the forefront, his aura ignited with divine energy. We shall not fear the darkness, he roared, summoning the storm within him. The winds howled in response, lightning crackling across the sky as his power surged. Step forth and show us your strength. The shade-drop beast lunged, a blur of darkness and fury. Zeus conjured a bolt of lightning, striking the ground where the beast had been moments before. The explosions sent shockwaves through the arena, illuminating the horror that lay before them. As the dust settled, Ares charged in, wielding his sword with the fury of 1,000 storms. "Face me, creature," he bellowed, his voice echoing through the arena. A clash of steel against steel rang out as Ares engaged the beast, their movements a deadly dance. Each strike reverberated with the weight of divine wrath. But the shade-drop beast was cunning, its form shifting like smoke, evading Ares' fierce blows. It struck back, claws slicing through the air, narrowly missing Ares as he twisted away. The crowd held its breath, the tension palpable as the ferocious battle unfolded. In that moment of peril, Lysander leaped forward, grabbing Ares' attention. "I will help. Together, we can take it down." Ares, his eyes burning with determination, nodded. "Then let us show this wretched creature the strength of unity." As they fought together, Lysander thrust his sword forward, striking the beast's flank. Ares followed, delivering a powerful blow that sent the creature staggering. With a howl of rage, the shade-drop beast collapsed, consumed by darkness as the two heroes stood victorious. Yet as they celebrated their triumph, Nyx summoned forth another challenge, this time a grotesque amalgamation of nightmares, the nightmarish Hydra. It emerged from the shadows, its many heads hissing and snapping, each one a reflection of the fears that plagued them all. "I am the embodiment of your doubts," it bellowed, its voice a cacophony of despair. "You will never escape the dark." The ground shook beneath its weight, each head writhing as it lunged toward the assembled warriors. Athena raised her bow, arrows shimmering with divine light. "We must strike together," she called, her focus unwavering. Zeus rallied the others. "Do not yield, we are stronger united." With a thunderous roar, the battle commenced. The Hydra lashed out, heads snapping like vipers. Ares and Lysander fought fiercely, dodging its strikes, but its many heads made it a formidable foe. As the creature lunged towards Lysander, a fierce instinct surged within him. "I will not back down," he shouted, swinging his sword with renewed vigor, severing one of its heads. But as the head fell, two more sprouted in its place, the Hydra's power growing ever more menacing. "This creature feeds on despair," Athena observed, her mind racing. "We must strike at its heart. We weaken it by dispelling our fears." With a resolute nod, Lysander turned to his comrades. "We must push past our doubts. We have faced darkness before, we can do it again." The words ignited a fire within the hearts of those gathered. A chorus of voices rose, proclaiming their defiance against